You're live.
Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Manish Shah. I'm a professor of management at Lake Forest Graduate School in Chicago. Let me introduce today's holistic science expert, Dr. Sailesh Mehta, or we call him Dr. Sailesh Anandji. He's a practicing ophthalmologist who owns a hospital in Vadodara, India. From his childhood, he was curious about the deeper truths of life. He came in touch with self-realized holistic scientist C.A.M. Patel, and through his grace, Dr. Mehta attained self-realization in 1977. Dr. Mehta is a celibate and is deeply experienced in the field of holistic inner science. He devotes his time studying, researching, and spreading the message of holistic inner science. In his quest to spread the message of holistic science, he has traveled all over the world to countries such as USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. His speeches on holistic science have been well received at national and international conferences. He's author of several books which include Introduction to Holistic Science and Integral Living and Science of Liberation. Welcome, Sailesh Anandji.
My greetings to all the seekers and holistic science researchers all across the world. So let's start with today's topic, as I have been given, sincerity and morality. Is that right, Manish bhai?
That's a topic for today. Go ahead, son.
So,
go ahead, Sailesh.
To expand it more, the science of sincerity and morality pertaining to our inner happiness or inner harmony. So, the holistic science says that the two main pillars of a human living, not only human but human living, are morality and sincerity. Somebody rightly said that it's easy to be human being, but it is difficult to be human. And certainly it's little more challenging to be human. So with that a lighter note, let's try to understand how this works. So morality, what is morality? The people will say that it is subjective because from individual to individual, and there may be some accepted norms. But to simplify it, morality is one where I have the right to enjoy, which is lawfully mine, which is righteously mine, and available to me naturally. Both parts are important. The things which are not rightfully mine, which are not lawfully mine, even it should not be at the level of mind. I should not have a single thought, even at the level of mind, to get or to enjoy or to consume the things which are not rightfully mine. So leave aside the action or behavior. And even if it is rightfully mine, but if I have to fight for it, means fight with my brother, fight with my family members, fight with somebody else, probably I should look back and think. Now the very basic question is, we all want to be really happy. And when I'm fighting with somebody for the things, am I really getting happy or am I really losing my happiness? So with that in mind, so morality, if we see in the present times, yes, people are moral, but yes, at the same time, there are so many situations and things where my morality may be changed or challenged. For we can have several examples. In my profession, whenever I get chance, and if I'm charging the people differently or charging on a higher side, my inner self knows that I'm not moral with that particular person. I'm saying that I will use X product at Y value, and instead I'm using something else. For example, I'm an eye doctor. I say the person, if I say the person that, oh, the lens I'm going to implant in your eye is costing 10,000 rupees. For example, in Indian scenario, it may be in dollars for you. Mm-hmm. But I know that the cost of the lens is not that high. So there I'm becoming immoral. And the very wonderful aspect of the holistic science is the world says that you remain moral to others. Holistic science says you don't become immoral to your own self. because no sooner no sooner I'm trying to breach my morality, I'm trying to deceive somebody, I'm being deceived first. I'm not really deceiving the others first, but I'm deceiving my own self first. And if I look within myself, that very moment or that very thing at the level of mind or speech or action leads to inner disruption of my harmony, inner clashes, inner stresses, and even lie detector machine can find out that this particular person is lying, even though it is not a live thing, because my respiration may become fast, my blood pressure may shoot up, my pulse rate may be affected. So the point is the morality. Yes, one can say that in a normal parlance, it is good for society, it is good for nation. But the very basic point is holistic science says it is good for your own self. Starts with the self. The charity begins at home. And then, of course, it radiates to all levels, familial, social. Now, here comes the second point, that whatever I have to hide within myself, husband cannot tell frankly to the wife everything what he's doing. Wife, if is not able to tell everything honestly and transparently and frankly to the husband in the mutual dealings or relations, to that extent one has become immoral. So the disparity of the thought, words, and action in itself speaks of some immorality, and that's one of the reason for the stresses and leading to clashes and even the diseases of today. So that is how we understand the morality. And if we go ahead and examine that part, one has to be moral in all aspects of life and living. And the two most important aspects are unlawful money, whatever has been earned out of my moral boundaries. I know what should I have. If you are a businessman, if you are a trader, you should have your fixed normal norms of profits or something. It's not that the other person not knowing and you got the chance and you can take anything from the other person. So there should be dharma, means moral principled behavior in all the give and take business or life dealings, and there should not be any business in dharma, or meaning thereby the righteous human living. So this is how unlawful wealth or unlawful money or immoral wealth or money, even while trying to earn it, even while trying to keep it, and even while trying to spend it, it will give one inner unrest, lack of harmony, and lot many things. So even while coming or even while going, it may not give you happiness or inner peace, or you may not be easy at the level of heart. See, the people who has done something wrong somewhere, and a notice or a letter comes from the revenue department, and one starts getting the higher blood pressure that what must have come. In fact, it may be a refund. So your mistakes or your immorality makes you fearful, makes you frightened. If you have not breached the traffic signal, you are not afraid of cameras or anything or tickets coming. But you know that you have violated the speed limits, or you have violated something, and your inner self will always be frightful when the ticket will come and when you will be caught in the camera. So this is how the dishonesty is said to be the best foolishness in a scientific terms, that if you are dishonest somewhere, then it will lead to your own harm or our own harm first. Similarly, that extends to unlawful sensual pleasures. Now, what do we mean by unlawful sensual pleasures? And the enlightened ones say that as human beings, you have right to lawfully engage and indulge into your lawful relations, husband or wife, or it should be a married one. The people nowadays, unfortunately, I may stand to be corrected, but some way I read that maybe to the tune of 40 to 47% Americans are single. That means they are not legitimately married. But then here is a big red light, that the one who is getting involved into immoral relations without marriage, the holistic science says it is a big danger. Let's examine it scientifically. If my mind is not in the boundary, and I'm like a free hovering animal, free wandering animal, that not only it starts with inviting unwanted diseases which are there, but it will wreck my mind and other things, and my stability is also not there, and social or familial life is also not secure. So even at the social level, the visionaries have seen that this is required for human welfare at the individual level, health level, mental level, so physical level, as well as the social and familial levels, which in the present scenario, we see that people are conveniently bypassing those moral rules in many, many areas of the world. So morality as far as wealth, morality as far as the sensual pleasures or the our physical relations stand a very high value in the present scenario, or it has a much scientific bearing. Then we come to morality in our relations also, because we have to examine ourselves that am I moral to all my relations everywhere? If I am not, then the echo will be same, because world is my own echo, my own projection, and as I said before, deceiving others, I am being deceived myself. Now the second important word is sincerity. And before I go to sincerity, there is one more aspect to this morality. All the sufferings and sorrows, especially the inner sufferings or sorrows, they are because I am becoming immoral or I am deceiving my own self. If I don't deceive my own self, that is my conscience or my truthfulness, or if I am not immoral to my own self, the sufferings or the sorrows may not come. And I may stand upright, even though I may have fewer resources, but my heart will be upright and my eyes will be that clear, and my life will be fear free, or it will be a stress free life for living. So, having said that, pillar of the human life and human life for living. Now, what is sincerity? Sincerity means as I am living and behaving or doing my own work, am I doing with the same sincerity Manish Bhai's work or Rajni Bhai's work or Ajay Bhai's work? I have to do something for myself, and I go to market and I scrutinize very carefully before spending my money or something. But am I doing with same sincerity if it comes to Manish Bhai's work or if it comes to Ajay Bhai's work? If it is different, then I am not sincere. And here again, the same principle. I am not becoming insincere to others. I am becoming insincere to my own self. And once my mind or my inner attitudes fall into the track or rut of insincerity, my whole life will be little bit haywire or disturb or irregular, because I'm not sincere to my own self, not sincere to my work, not sincere to my thoughts or words or actions. So sincerity. So the another important aphorism of the holistic science is, if you remain sincere to 100 people, somebody needs to make it mute. I'm getting the echo back. All of you are requested to please be mute. So if I remain sincere to 100 people, I'll never be in shortage of wealth or money or my resources for living. So what does that mean scientifically? When I'm sincere to 100 people, that means I'm sincere to myself, I'm sincere to others, sincere to my work, sincere to whatever I'm expressing, my views, or sincere to my suggestions. I'm truthful. That means everybody will trust me, my trustworthiness, my credibility, everything will build up. And in the present society, sooner or later, the people will realize that no, he is a good person, or he is a trustable person, or he is a person worth credibility, and your things will go nice. I can make somebody fool once or twice, but sooner or later the other people are going to know that, and even before that there are a subtle signs of vibrations. So no sooner I try to become insincere or immoral, the vibrations, atoms and molecules reach to the other person, signaling the other person that be cautious with this person in dealing or in business or whatever things. So it is important that I take care of my inner world, and my outer world is nothing but my own echo or projection. So this is how sincerity is also important. And when we extend the sphere of sincerity, nobody is required to watch me. But whatever task, if I'm a teacher, am I sincere to my task? Am I sincere to my job of delivering the things to my students? If I'm a doctor, am I sincere to my work? If I'm a husband, am I sincere with my wife? If I'm a parent, am I sincere with my children? In all aspects of my life and living, am I really sincere? Am I really more? So this is how I think. And the another important aphorism is morality and sincerity are main road to approach the God or the ultimate reality or the ultimate truth. All others are byways or the sideways. So having said that, this broader framework, now we are open to questions. I think this is adequate to as an initial introduction. Manish bhai, we are open to questions now.
Sure. Mitali bhai, go ahead. I think Ajay bhai has dropped off. We have our first question from the audience. Please state your name and where you're from.
Hi, I am Mehta. I am from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I am a pharmacist by profession. So my question is regarding happiness based on, like, how does a belief, and based on your own belief, does an expectation play a role towards yourself as well as towards expectation of others? Sometimes I feel like your own belief is always different from somebody else's belief, and so the expectation towards that belief is become automatic. So how does sincerity and morality kind of plays a role in there?
Okay, very good question. So Mitali Ben, first and foremost, as we see, the holistic science teaches us to look within us, that each action of mind, speech and body.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
Before affecting us, I take care of my family in this particular way, the people will be happy. And now, according to that belief, you try to remain sincere and you try to remain moral. So first advantage to your own self is you are truthful to your own self. At your heart, you will feel satisfied. At your heart, you will feel fulfilled that, okay, I have done best according to my understanding or belief or whatever word you want to use. If you are not that way, and if you are not wherever, in a family or in a profession or in a relations or in a society, your understanding says that I should be like this, but if you are not sincere or if you are not remaining moral, first it will be bugging to you only. It will be bugging to us only. There will be a biting thing within us. We will not be at ease with our own self. The people are not restless with the world outside. They are restless with their own selves, I would say. Rather than more with outside people, they are not at rest or they are not at harmony with their own selves because of these two factors. So that is part one. And part two is when our belief is, first, every human being feels that I want to become happy. Not realizing that how does the happiness really come? What is the research? Or what is the business strategy for the happiness, whatever word you want to use it, whatever, or if you are a pharmacist, what is the pill for happiness, or if you are a computer programmer, what is the software program for happiness, whatever word. So the simplest software program is whichever actions of my mind, speech and body, which are going to make others happy, do make me happy first. So as a wife, you will think that, okay, this is my understanding that I should keep my house like this, or I should be cooking or dealing, or, but then your inner understanding also tells you that, does it make my husband happy? Does it make my children happy? Because unless you have that attitude that let my mind, speech and body offer happiness to one and all, starting with my own home, be in your own home, world need not be conquered, you yourself will not be happy. So belief is all right, but when it is put to the right belief that, okay, whichever actions of my mind, speech, and body which are going to make others happy will make me happy first, or which are going to hurt others will hurt me also, then the belief also gets corrected. So belief are also incorrect beliefs and correct beliefs, wrong visions and right visions. But this is to simplify. So once we have understood it, then our sincerity and morality helps us first to our own self and then to others. And believe me, the people also doesn't say okay, what has happened or not happened. They also try to judge your intents and attitudes, whether you are truthful at heart, what is your attitude towards them, what's your intent for them. And I think that's what counts in the world. That's my understanding at the moment for the question you have put. I hope I have been able to answer you, right?
Yes, thank you.
Now, to add a sentence or two more, there may be some inner challenge for you. You may be feeling that this is good for your children, and your children may be feeling differently. And here is a catch point, that how you as parents remain sincere, moral to your own self, to your own understanding, as well as deal with your children, right? So we are not going to expand onto that subject today, but here you have to balance out both. So it's something like if the doctor knows that this is good for patient doesn't know. And the doctor has to do something,
right,
convincing and putting anesthesia or something, but ultimately has to do good for the patient, even if he has to take the scalpel, but that the scalpel will be non-hurting or will be put in a mode. So similarly, the challenges may come to you, especially for your near and dear ones, when you understand and okay, this is what is going to do their good, but they especially the children do not understand that. And your job may be to convince them lovingly, caringly, sharingly, cordially, and not rather convince, but explain them scientifically all the aspects and all the facets of doing this or not doing this, and then let them decide. Our sincerity lies in holding the light, making them to see themselves what is what, which Manish Bhai knows very well. He shows his daughters very well what is what and what is not, and he's experienced the good fruits that then at one point of time they do decide correctly, or they choose the things for them. So not insisting, but trying to explain them, trying to show them with a correct vision. So this is how there are going to be some scenarios where we want to remain truthful and sincere and moral, and yet we have to deal with the other people having different understandings and come to some common way.
Thank you.
Okay, we have our second question from the audience. Please go ahead, and the rest of the people, please mute your microphones.
This is Rajnikant Patel from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'm a retired executive and writing books for children. This is a very important and topic and a vast topic, but what comes to my mind is on piggybacking on what Mitali just said, in everyday life, especially talking about our family, you know, we act or do something this way, and because of the communication, fast-paced life, our family members just jump on you and say, hey, you should not have done this, you should have done this. And you're like you talked about intent. My intent was something, but they see my intent is different. So how do you balance that sincerity and that?
No, that's very correct thing. Very correct. That's what I said. One is going to face some challenges, especially in the daily livings with near and dear ones. When I'm trying to remain sincere or moral, it includes my sphere. Me and my wife are not different, you and me. It's not you and me, it's we. Me and my children are not different as they and me, but it is we. So seeing as we, Now we see with a view, we or our vision, and then try to find out that, okay, this is what I understand, but what is their understanding? And how can we have a sort of, as Manish Bhai tries to make but what routinely happens is, as you say, in a past phase.
Shailesh, we lost you after you said Manish Bhai thing, so we lost you after.
All right, so I'll get back again. I think it's some technology.
Yes.
So see, what Manish Bhai is trying to do with his daughter step, we
Again,
can.
we lost you again at the same place.
All right.
Yeah, so
I think it doesn't want
say
me to go
leave.
that direction. Oh yeah, sure. So the point is, we can share our always have a common ground, and not insisting or imposing on decision, but just exchanging the visions and views, and leaving the rest to the. And we lose the center of happiness and harmony, which lies in our way, not my way or your way. So rather than our way, it becomes my way or your way. So I keep make the families or our relations or our daily dealings really helpful.
Yeah, we lost you most of the time.
Something to do with the internet connection,
Yes.
Shailesh. I think we still can't hear you.
That's a very good, poor connection today.
Yeah. Shailesh, we lost your audio.
I think we lost the connection.
Yeah. It's fine for the rest of us. He seems to have lost his connection. Okay, I think he's rejoining.
Maybe on another internet.
Yeah. Okay, I think he's back.
Hello, can you
Yes,
hear
we
me
can
now?
hear you.
All right, I think it was in something internet problem. So
Yeah.
again, going back to Rajni Bhai's half left question due to technology. Uh, when we think in terms of we or ours, we show our viewpoints or we share our vision, but at the same time, we try to know the others' visions and viewpoints, especially the family members. And we don't impose the decision, but we just try to show or exchange the visions and viewpoints and leave the rest of the things to nature, remaining sincere to our basic aim that let one and all be happy, or let my mind, speech, and body offer happiness, especially to my family members. So in that case, I think that should work. But unfortunately, in fast-paced living, as Rajini Bhai was rightly pointing out, it becomes my way or your way, my view or your view, and it does not remain our way or our view. So I think with that simple little change, probably we can be much more benefited, happy, or harmonious. Am I all right, Rajini Bhai?
Yeah, it's the key thing is how can we tactfully make our family members understand the intent what I was trying to do instead of they jump all over us.
Yes. So first thing is, don't get worried, because it's only the family members who have right to jump on us. So that's fine, and that is, we see their love into that because they are caring for us. That's all right. So I think smilingly, after a while, we can say them that, okay, to best of my understanding, I thought like this, so but I'm open to your views, and then they will understand that our intent is good. Or we can humorously ask them that, do you think that my intent is other way around? The approach is one thing, the intent is another thing. So the whole world is lost into these two things. The world just looks to approach or the method or what is being done, but not realizing the intent or the heart or the attitude behind that. So lovingly, you can say that. And sometimes you can be humorous to them also, that now this old man has become aged, so you have to pardon this old man for the older approaches or techniques. But I'll be happy if you can teach this old man a newer techniques or the newer approaches. So putting myself into that, putting our own self into that box, I think can show them that no, we are the truthful and we are all one. We are all one.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, the key thing is we have to have patience ourselves.
Keep smiling. I always say smile is the remedy for most of the things.
Yes.
Not sarcastically, but heartily.
Yeah.
So whatever is happening, keep smiling and keep love in your heart and in your eyes. When the other people can see the love in your eyes, I think most of the things get corrected.
I have another question. I have another question that you know, in our everyday life again.
Yeah.
Sincerity. You know, sometimes unconsciously or consciously we try to not be sincere. Like if I don't want to talk to somebody, if I don't want to take a phone or something like that. So that I think insincerity comes into picture. For as far as morality is concerned, it's not a bad thing because we do understand what morality is. But I think many times we try to break up our sincerity. So
yes,
what can we do, or how is the best thing to mitigate this? Because morality, I'm not that much worried about. I'm talking about myself. The sincerity, you know, sometimes you do that.
Yeah. So what I think is, in a present worldly scenario, most of us have developed this, I would say, smartness. It's not really the smartness, but we consider it as smartness, that we say something to get away from the situation, and we think or do other way around. And we feel that we are smart, but really it is not. because at the very moment where we are losing our inner harmony, and sooner or later the other person also knows that he is not a man of words or he is not a man of actions. So rather than, it is our, I would say, not a smartness, but it is really going against our own self-interest, that we believe that will
Again,
have
Celestial,
more.
we lost you.
I think the technology is challenging us too much today. Internet, I don't know what is happening, but still we are trying to remain sincere to against whatever odds we are. So the point is, if I can truthfully express myself that, okay, at this moment I'm not able to do your work, or I may not be able to do it, but at the given appropriate time I will say it. So one moment the person may not feel good, but soon he will realize, at least he is truthful, and he's a man of, or she's a man of words, and she will do what she thinks or speaks. So I think in a longer run, it's good for me as well as good for all. That whatever, so that is what the holistic science says, that unfortunately today there is a disparity, there is no harmony. What I think I don't speak, what I speak I don't do. That's the very basis where the sincerity is lost, where the morality is lost. And that's the very root cause of my and others all problems. So I need to understand that it may be the way of world, but it is not the way of wise people, or it cannot be the way of the enlightened or the knowledgeable or wise people. And let me change that slowly but steadily. So first my understanding changes, then it brings me awareness. Understanding coupled with awareness leads to my inner free will purusharth or effort, and slowly I can build up that part. So it's very common to look around the world, to look at the people, and everybody is behaving like this, so why not me? But no, 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 no. Whatever sincerity and morality I have earned, or sincerity by so much of high inner penance or character building, whatever you say, why should I lose for the sake of others? So I should be, that is what, that is why we said we are not becoming insincere to others. Really, I am becoming insincere to my own self. Or really, I am not becoming sincere to others, I am becoming sincere to my own self. And that is what the holistic scientist says, all the sufferings and sorrows, because we are fooling our own self, because we are becoming insincere to our own self, or non-truthful to our own self.
That's very good. Excellent. So this is considered as a part of a weakness, and we need to work on that weakness to, like you said, change your belief. And
yes, very true. That weakness of whom? Weakness of personality. See, there are two parts in our own life and living. One is my personality or mind, speech, body. Another is my understanding part. There are two opposing forces acting within each human being. One says, okay, you can go around and who is looking, and everybody does. The second says, no, you can't do that. It's not good for you to do that. So be with a force which is trying to keep you on the correct track, which is trying to take you up, and don't listen to the force or the thing which is trying to take you to the downward path. So this is how I think we can understand the human life experiment and be on the correct track.
so how can we put a pause switch like that to
Yes,
differentiate which way to go?
yeah, very good question. So here comes the point of inner awareness and inner reflection, I would say. Whenever one gets some time or inner what you can say, room or inner time, outside you may be with the people, but whenever you have inner time, you may be a little bit free. Introspect, reflect back, and see how it has gone, whether it has helped you, make you more happy, or it has disrupted your happiness and harmony, and correct it. So as soon as I get time, I should be seeing how my day has gone, where I have faltered, and immediately correct it against 9 codes of conduct or against whatever I have decided.
No.
Once I have understood the science of it, it's there with me, whether it's a sincerity, morality, or 9 codes or whatever. And I should go back and see whether I have lived in my interest or not.
So all our life interaction and action, is it revolve around the 9 code of conducts?
That is one of the very important yardstick or guideline, I would say, that can help us to have a good human living. The 9 codes would give a good guiding light in a present situations and scenarios to keep on a correct track, to progress on a higher, towards higher purpose and higher goals, and to guard us against the possible faults or the possible weaknesses, important possible weaknesses, I would say.
Thank you very much. There's one question, and Manishba, if time remaining, maybe Sailashanji can very briefly touch on the 9 diamonds at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure. So Sailesh Anji, I have a question.
Sure.
Question popped in my head when you're talking about morality. Morality, as you explained, is only consuming what is rightfully yours, and not laying claim on other people's. So this is a competition-based society, especially in the Western world.
Yes.
Workplace, everybody is competing for a promotion or the next best thing, and there are people involved in it. So keep our morality intact while still in a professional setting.
So you have posed a very good question. Now there are 2 ways to progress. One, based on my inner strengths, based on my inner abilities, based on my inner energy levels, or whatever you say. And I think everybody will agree that at the end of the day, that's the only sustainable way to progress. The second way is to adopt some shortcuts, as we say, that can I progress by flattering my boss, or telling something bad, or revealing something bad about somebody to become favorite of my boss, or whatever you say, whatever shortcuts I think one can have. But when I'm trying to take the shortcuts, it hampers my inner energy, it hampers my inner clarity, it hampers my inner comprehension or other abilities. So trying to gain on one side, I'm losing substantially on the other side. I will give you a simple example. Suppose the student in the examination room has taken something hidden, answer written somewhere or something, then he will be so much, his mind and will be engaged so much and fearful and frightened that he will not be able to reconcile or comprehend the other things well. So those students can never come up top in the ranks or never can score good marks. Even though professor is not looking at them, maybe looking somewhere else, he himself is so much involved and engaged into those negativities that even the positivities don't work well. As against that, if I take this approach that let me develop my own inner energies, let me develop my skills, let me do better, and how can I do better? And here the thing to help is, while looking for myself, my progress or my higher pay package or salary, if I have the attitude that how can by my mind, speech, body, abilities, skills, and sincerity and morality, how can I deliver best to my company, to my consumers, to my clients or whosoever, then believe me, that attitude, that truthfulness will open out my inner energy so much so that it itself will influence the other people, that nobody can stop your progress. So if you want to build up your inner energy, if you want to come up on strength of your inner energy, your inner knowing, knowledge and skills and knowing and seeing power, you have to open those doors, and those doors can be opened only if you are truthful to your own self, if you are sincere and moral to your own self as well as to others. Because there is no other in the world. It is me only. It's my own world only. So if I think vis-a-vis we see these two things, we realize that, oh, really it is this which works better, or it is this which really works on a sustainable way. In a shorter way, you might get one promotion by doing here and there, but sustainable way, I don't think it works, because then you cannot deliver to the expectations, or your energies are not tuned for that. I hope I'm right.
No, I think that's very well explained, because a lot of times we lose of morality in trying to get ahead in this corporate world, because, everybody wants to, it's like, you like to mention, it's like this race where nobody wins.
But in a race, you are trying to run in a wrong way, which is hampering your speed. If you run in a right way by increasing your speed rightfully, then I think you can, even in a race, you can win. Right?
Right.
So
I think that's very well explained.
I'm reminded of one article which probably you only sent me. How would you measure the life? By, I think, Professor Christopher Christensen or somebody who at the Harvard College used to deliver the last lecture to his students, that how would you really measure your life? So these holistic inner science understandings and secrets, I would say, if understood properly, I think it gives us the clear understanding. And especially it gives us the strength to stand not against the world, but to stand different from the world and the world trends, because the world is like a ship going one after another, most of the part of the world. Because others are doing, I should do it. Because others are doing, it may be the right way. But it's not necessarily so. I have to find out what's right for my way, by my understanding, by understanding the laws of nature and natural regulatory system, life and living. And I think in that case, I would be so contented from within. I would be so opening out the doors of inner knowledge and inner abilities. I would not be bothered what the world is doing and where the world is going. And still I would be better off dealing in any particular situation, because at the end of the day, it is your inner self-esteem, it's your inner self-discipline, it's your inner self-confidence, whatever you say, which is important, not the world outside. So people humorously look at the world outside, they don't look at the world inside. And the holistic science says, discover the world within, look at the world inside, which is more important rather than the world outside, which is a secondary and which is nothing but my own projection, my own echo.
No, I think that was a great explanation of how we can keep our balance. Negative forces are around you in a personal or a professional setting. One request we have, Sailesh Anandji, is to summarize some codes of conduct, especially as they relate to sincerity and morality, things that we should keep in mind every day.
Right. So we talked about morality, that to use what is rightfully mine and available to me naturally. We talked about sincerity, that as I'm living for myself, am I having same sincerity to all others, starting from my family members, my work colleagues and others? Now, to expand it little more and to give it little more guiding light, there are 9 codes. In first, I'm asking for inner energy, that let my mind, speech and body not hurt ego of any living being, even to the slightest extent. In second, I'm asking for inner strength, not to hurt any foundational belief or viewpoint of any religion or faith or modality. Third, I am asking for inner strength, so that I will not be disrespectful or not say any untrue words for any teacher, preacher, monk or nun. Here we can easily understand that if I say any untrue words for anybody, I'm definitely becoming immoral or insincere. And in trying to show myself good, I'm speaking bad about somebody. So in the basement, it is same. The fourth, I'm asking for inner strength, so I'll not have disrespect or disgust for any living being. So that's because doing that will hurt me first. So in dealing with any human being, what is my sincerity? So let he be me and me be he. I am one with everyone, and then only my mind, speech, and body can offer happiness to others or not hurt to others. So this is the fourth one. Fifth one is I am asking for inner strength so that I will not speak any hurtful or words or the speech of rivalry, but speaks in a soft and sober language. The sixth is most important as far as morality is concerned, that I'm asking for inner strength such that I will not have any perverted thoughts of sensuality for any gender, male, female, or neuter, and I can remain perversion free. So same way there are total 9 conducts. In the ninth, I'm asking for inner strength so I can become instrumental for welfare of one and all, for everyone's happiness, harmony, and peace. And that is me only. By having this inner decision projection and asking for this strength, it is I am the first beneficiary. And when I am asking for welfare of one and all, I cannot be insincere to anyone. I cannot be immoral to anyone. And basically, I'm the first beneficiary. So 9 conducts or 9 codes of conduct, if we expand it, it very well serves the purpose of sincerity and morality. And it explains me the different aspects of my life and living, especially in the present situation. I hope that summarizes the things. But in nutshell, if we understand the things correctly, if we start looking within ourselves, observe the effect within our own self, and understand this perspective, I think the things become very clear, and the path is really simple. In fact, it is said that the path of sincerity and morality is the easiest way. It is the simplest way, and the path other way is the most difficult path. It's irony that we are not realizing it.
Shailashanji, 7th and
Yes.
8th codes were missing. Can you please reiterate those?
Yeah. The seventh one is I'm asking for inner strength so that I can have the balance of food in all the 6 tests and not get carried away by one test. But since it was not affecting the sincerity or morality directly, I had just bypassed in interest of time. Sorry for becoming insincere to one of the code.
And what was the 8th one?
Eighth one is I'm asking for inner strength such that I will not have disgust or disrespect for any living being in presence or in absence, live or dead. So again, the same thing that most of our human attitude is such that I'll speak ill about somebody, and if I cannot speak ill in his or her presence, I will prefer to speak ill in her absence or at the back, we say. And that's the biggest common insincerity we have, that we don't say the same thing on face, but we definitely say on back. This is also a way of insincerity or immorality, I would say, that our things are different on the face and at the back.
Oh, wonderful. So I think this
very good, because that food one is also, I think, important because you want to be sincere to your health.
Yes. Yeah, from that perspective, I agree and I accept it. Yes, of course, true. Yes, it's true. In fact, the food has impact on everything. Yeah, please.
This brings us to the end of this wonderful talks. Thanks, Suresh Anandji, for elaborating on 2 important pillars, sincerity and morality, and then tying those to how these could be implemented in our daily life and how those tie to the 9 codes of conduct, which are elaborated as per these principles of holistic science. So we'll continue our journey in October, the 3rd Sunday of October, which is October 15th, and we will we'll talk further about topics related to holistic science. Thank you, Suresh Anandji, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks to all of you also. Thank you.
And